7 and 10 Warriors.
Good evening and welcome to C-Bus Sports and tonight's 2026 Friday Night Lights football opener. Hello everyone, Eric Welch alongside Scott Murphy and Nick Hirschy, and we are coming to you live from Worthington Kilbourne High School. Worthington Kilbourne last year 7 and 5 and a playoff participant against Watkins Memorial, who was 4 and 6. These two teams have tangled 5 times. This will be the 6th meeting, and it's kind of become a season opening affair in which Kilbourne leads 4-1. There was a playoff matchup back in 2014. And Scott, what are we looking for tonight as Watkins Memorial has replaced most of their team?
Yeah, Coach Waters is he's really looking forward to this team. He says he's got a lot of seniors who have been kind of outside looking in. Now they're seniors, they're getting their opportunity to start, and he's really excited about this team this year.
Kilbourne kicked off, and as usual, their junior kicker, Ericon Osiris, who is one of the top kickers in the area, kicked it into the end zone. So Watkins Memorial started it first down and 10 from their own 20. Moving from left to right here, that is north to south, that is north, that's south to north. And we are seated in the press box on the west side, and we really can't see anything in here because the sun is setting toward the west and it's still above the trees. Handoff up the middle to Rhodes of Watkins Memorial, and he is stopped for a gain of just 2, so it's up to the 24-yard line, 3rd down and 6, and working an inexperienced quarterback here as Drew Samsel from last year graduated, Scott.
Like I said, they have a lot of young players, but some of them are seniors that have worked. They've stayed on the sidelines, they practiced, they got better, and now they're getting their opportunity to start.
So the quarterback, we'll give the lineups here. We've had all kinds of technical issues here, just trying to get on the air. The quarterback is Xander Matchak, a 5'11", 149-pound sophomore, and he gives it off to one of the running backs, couldn't see over there, maybe Gabe Harris or Graham Smith, and he just got 1, so it's 4th down and 5 from their own 25 for Watkins Memorial. The Warriors out of Licking County, they play in the Licking County League Buckeye Division, went 3-2 last year and tied for 3rd. And the punter is the running back Graham Smith, and it is a short punt, and it is taken at the Kilbourne 45 by number 7, Alex Meek, and he returns it into Watkins territory down to about the 34-yard line. 1st down and 10 with the short field, Worthington Kilbourne. Alex Meek is a guy who junior quarterback Jackson Sabo is going to want to find a lot.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. They both are, and a short punt, and he fielded it and got another 15 yards. So they got great field position.
Spread offense for the Kilbourne Wolves. They are moving from right to left on your computer dial. Sabo in the shotgun back. He's going to roll to the right, pointing, throws it across the middle. He's got Meek open at the 21. Meek has the whole left side wide open, and Meek will take it to the end zone for the first score of this 2026 season. And that was a play of 34 yards. Nice design, and it looked like maybe the movement by Sabo helped.
Yeah, Jackson rolled out to the right, and Meeks got he was going across the field, and he just stopped, turned around, he hit him right away. He back the other way and was able to get there to score.
Osiris on for the extra point. The holder is Alex Meek, so he puts his receiving gloves away so that he can handle the snap and put the football down at the 10-yard line. 6-0, 9:07 to go here in the first. And Osiris, as he always does, drills it through, and Kilbourne has a quick 7-0 lead. And boy, they just took one play. They took that short punt, and fielded it, as you mentioned, ran up the field, and it's been Kilbourne here in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, they started right where they left off last year. They're a high-powered offense. They score a lot of points, and boy, it only took one play there after the punt to bring it in for a score.
Worthington Kilbourne is led by head coach Mike Edwards in his 8th year. Coach Edwards, of course, led this team to the playoffs last year. Worthington Kilbourne was the 9th seed, and they went on the road and lost to Columbus Walnut Ridge 58-42. For Watkins Memorial, as mentioned earlier by my broadcast partner, Scott Murphy, Darren Waters in his 6th year at Watkins Memorial. He's 28-27 in those 6 years, but he had an outstanding 14-year career at neighboring Licking Heights High School. Went and coached at Otterbein for a couple of years, did Coach Waters, and then decided to hang up the whistle for college coaching and took the job out of Pataskala there for Watkins Memorial. Here's another kick by Osiris. Boy, he's got a foot on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's an outstanding kicker and only a sophomore. But, yeah, he doesn't miss many field goals. He doesn't miss extra points, and he puts it in the end zone most of the time.
Watkins Memorial with their back to the wall already here. 9:07 to go in the first period from Watkins Memorial. Eric Welch, Scott Murphy, and Nick Hirschy as we're trying to get this live on the air. And it's a bummer, guys. We had thousands of fans that were wanting to listen to this live. There's a long run, or excuse me, a pass. I didn't see it.
Well, he faked the handoff to the running back and then kept it. It was an RPO. He went around the left side and picked up about 20 yards. So that was a real nice play. Worthington defense, where they were stunting and coming at him, and excellent call.
I'm going to have, for just a second here, I'm going to have my good buddy Nick Hirschy do the play-by-play for a couple of minutes.
First down and 10 Watkins on the 45.
See if I can get us on the air. We are right now just tape delayed.
So a bit of a stoppage here. Not sure, Scott, what's the issue is. Now we'll go. Watkins from their own 45. Tanzillo in the shotgun, and we're still not playing. Tanzillo hands it off on the inside, and falling forward for a short game is Graham Smith. Set up about a 2nd and 6.
Rolls led by number 35, Mason Kloss.
Yeah, he's their go-to back, Graham Smith. He's going to get the ball a lot today if that offensive line can open some holes for him there.
Watkins going at it feels like a much slower pace here on the second drive, Scott, than the first drive.
Yeah, they're making sure they're getting the plays, they're taking their time, and let's see if they can execute here.
This comes after a 3-and-out by Watkins on their first possession, answered by a one-play scoring drive from Kilbourne. Tanzillo takes the snap. It's a first down. That was actually Xander Matchek came in the game, so they switch up the quarterback, maybe bring in the slightly better runner there on a little zone read.
Yeah, but it all starts with that fake up the middle to Graham Smith, and the Kilbourne defense collapsed on him, and he pulled it out and went around to the left side. Nice game.
So Matchak is in the game. It's a first down here for Watkins. From the Kilbourne 45. Motion the tight end, they give it to him. And picking up 4, right there is Cooper Oyster. Picking up a nice first down game.
Yeah, it's a good play. They faked a handoff, and he was a tight end. He actually pulled around and got the handoff, almost like a jet sweeping away with the tight end, and picked up a couple.
Thought he went for more, Scott, but only a gain of 2 on first down. So it's 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that's about it. Looked like he might have got a few more, but they only gave him 2 yards.
So Madchek has been in there for most of this drive, giving them more of what appears to be a running threat compared to the first drive.
Yeah, he's just a sophomore and doing a nice job here.
And penalty flags throw. And I believe it's going to be a delay of game here on Watkins.
Offense number 12.
Well, they were taking their time, and they took a little bit too much time
Too
there.
much time. They back it up. It's going to be 2nd and 13 now. And just obviously, first game of the season, first quarter, just trying to get things going. But when you're taking this much time on your drives, just those type of penalties, can't afford those, Scott.
No, definitely you can't. I mean, mistakes, they'll hurt you.
So 2nd and 13 for Watkins. They've moved back to the Kilbourne 48. 6:31 here in the first quarter. 7-0 Kilbourne. Madchek will look to throw, and he'll scramble here. And it's going to be a gain of 1. Kilbourne playing that well. And it's going to set up a 3rd and long here for Watkins Memorial.
Yeah, Brandon Rhodes coming up from the cornerback position. Nice tackle one-on-one. He put him right on the ground. It's a big 3rd down play now.
3rd and 12, and this is, you would have to think, at least in the preparation this week from Watkins, that they wanted to avoid these 3rd and long, especially on the road as much as they could. But it will be 3rd and 12. Madchek will be in the shotgun, joined by Graham Smith. Madchek takes a snap, rolls out to his left. Kilbourne plays it well, and a sack. Brendan Rhodes comes off the edge and gets a sack, and Kilbourne's going to get off the field. Another stop.
Yeah, Xander rolled to his right, and it's hard to throw that way, but the pressure got to him, and time to punt now.
So Watkins picked up a couple of first downs, much an improvement from their first drive, but are going to have to punt again, and the dangerous Alex Meek is back. He had a nice punt return the first time. High snap, brings it in, and he shanks it. But it does give a Watkins roll. And Meek will fall on it on the Kilbourne 31, so the Wolves take back over for their second possession.
No, it actually worked. That was longer than the first punt that he made, like a worm burner. But Meeks couldn't advance the ball, so I guess that was the positive thing in that.
After the high snap, the fact he was able to get the ball to go as far as he did was big time for Watkins as Kilbourne takes over at their own 31.
Tonight's officials, by the way, men, the referee is Jordan Nipper, the umpire Zachary Green, the line judge is Eric Perkins, linesman is Robert Buscemi, and Lucas Ousley is the back judge. Pick it up, Nick.
Zabo slings it out. That's Sean Rice, and we're going to have a horse collar tackle, I think. But speaking, that's Sean Rice. He transferred in last year, wasn't able to play due to the transfer rules, but a pretty solid basketball player for the Wolves. Great athlete.
Yeah, no, good athlete, and they're going to tack on some yards to that. They tried a little tunnel screen, and it was well executed, but that face mask is going to move it forward for the Wolves.
So Rice is going to be on the opposite of Alex Meek tonight, and that is tough to have two great receivers opposite of each other for any type of defensive coordinator, especially with Zabo in his 3rd year as a starter. Started as a freshman, you don't see that very much.
No,
he's been able to sling it since his freshman year.
That tells you what kind of athlete he is. He's a 3-year starter, and he's still got 1 year left, and he's outstanding. He could be the best quarterback in this area.
Also a great lacrosse player, I'm told, too. So a dual sport athlete, very impressive.
He's an athlete.
So the ball moves all the way up to the Kilbourne's 49 as Zabo in the shotgun. Zabo, and he'll give it. And nice gain right there by Garrett Wilkinson. He replaces the old number 24 last year, Luke Page, who was just an electric power back from a year ago.
Yeah, he was something else. 246 carries for 1,474 yards and 14 touchdowns, and he caught 18 passes too. So he did it all. They miss him for sure.
Zabo drops on 2nd and 5 over the middle, finds his tight end. Nice gain on 1st down. And he finds Grady Wanner over the middle. And they are quickly inside the Watkins 30.
Yeah, they just ran Grady right down the seam, and Jackson put it right on the money. What beautiful execution on the play.
So Kilbourne once again is moving the ball. Zabo in the shotgun. Kilbourne going relatively up-tempo. Little pop pass around the edge. This is Jackson Dotson, who picks his way through, and he's inside the 15.
Yeah, it was like a jet sweep, only he just popped it to him. Good blocking by the Wolves. That was a well-executed play, and they're knocking at the door already.
So a 1st down for Worthington Kilbourne in the red zone. They started this drive on their own 31. Zabo looking to start the Wolves season 2 for 2 on their offensive possessions. Drops back. Zabo slant, finds Meek, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Zabo finds Meek for already the 2nd time tonight, and the Wolves are 2 for 2 and a 13-0 lead pending the PAT.
Yeah, they're a high-powered offense, and they're hitting on all cylinders early. They ran them both down the seam, and Grady went to the right, and then Meeks turned around, and the ball hit him right on the money, and touchdown, Wolves.
Couldn't ask for a better start for Worthington Kilbourne, as they have not only got 2 defensive stops, they now have 2 defensive touchdowns, or offensive touchdowns rather, as Ericon Ursias will attempt the extra point. And just like for the most part, knocks it right through. So with 3:23 in the first quarter, Kilbourne jumps up to a 14-0 lead here in week 1 of the 2026 football season. Some preseason rankings, top 10 wide receiver. Alex Meek from Kilbourne, we've seen him so far already.
Yeah,
2
he's
touchdowns.
having an outstanding game already.
Ericon Ursias, I happen to know his older brother. He's told me that he's a top 40 kicker for his class already.
I believe it.
In recruiting, he had that big 45-yard field goal a year ago.
He's just a sophomore. Yeah. No, they have a very talented team, and there's a lot of talk about what they possibly could do this year.
Had a big 45-yard field goal to win it at Scioto last year for the Battle of Hard Road.
Man, that's when you want to hit those in those big rivalry games. Yeah, that'll be talked about for some time. And he's just getting started.
So Ursias getting ready to already send off his 3rd kickoff tonight, 2 already with being touchbacks. And this one will be returned. Nice little return there from Anthony Cook. He'll get
22, Graham Smith.
Oh, that's Graham Smith, rather. And he gets him out to the 27. It'll be 1st down for Watkins.
Yeah, he got a chance to return it. He was going to make the best of it, and he made a real hard run, and he's a tailback, so I'm sure we'll be seeing him getting the ball a few times more of this game.
So
they need to establish a running game, though, Watkins does.
So here comes the Watkins offense for the 3rd time tonight. 2 punts so far. They had a nice little drive. They got into Kilbourne territory, but that delay of game penalty set them back. Ended up having to punt. Scott, I feel like this is, it's first quarter, so plenty of time, but this is a very important drive already for Watkins.
Well, they need to get something going here because they know if they have to give the ball back, what's going to happen, because they haven't stopped Kilbourne yet. So they need to run some time off the clock and get a couple 1st downs.
So Xander Madchak is back in their tight end motions. They fake it to him. He fakes it to Smith. He kept it, and I don't think he got anything on that. Kilbourne playing it well.
Yeah, that's the one. They've made a couple good plays at where they fake it to Smith in the RPO, and then he takes it off. But Kilbourne was ready for it that time. They weren't fooled. And
a dual fake as they faked it to the tight end as well as the running back, but Kilbourne all over it. Looks like they did gain maybe about a half a yard on that play. So relatively still 2nd and 10 here for Watkins on their own 28. Hatchak joined by Smith in the backfield. Gives it to Smith. And Kilbourne all over it right there. He does pick up a yard, and this will be another 3rd and long for Watkins.
Yeah, they just tried to go off right tackle, and Kilbourne stacked it up. They're waiting for him. So they got to get a little more push off their from their offensive linemen, because there's too many blue jerseys there.
So the officials on the field are going to indicate that is no gain, so it'll be 3rd and 10 for Watkins. And 8 on the play clock. They're running a little low on time. Will they get the snap off? They've already had 1 delay of game penalty. They just get the snap off. Hatchak rolls to his left, looks downfield. They get pressure, and it's going to be another sack for Brendan Rhodes.
Yeah, guess who? He's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd sack of the game.
Both times tonight when he rolled out to his left, Rhodes right there to make sure nothing happened, and Kilbourne gets another stop.
You know what I thought was interesting there as I looked up from the computer screen? There was a single receiver, Henry Guzman, downfield, and he was double covered. There were no other targets past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I can't hear either. Yeah, Meeks, good catch by him on the punt.
So Kilbourne's going to take over at midfield. Another great field position here. They started right around this on their first drive, a little bit further back on their second drive, but Scott, that didn't seem to matter on that second drive.
No, it didn't. And this was a better punt this time by Watkins. And so let's see if the Watkins defense can step up here and get a stop.
So far, Jackson Zabo with 2 touchdown passes to Alec Meek. Kilbourne's going to take over at midfield. Zabo's going to go under center here. Zabo takes the snap, and they will give it to the running back for a gain of 4.
Number 2, Creed Gators.
Creed Gators getting one of his first carries tonight. Can't complain about a gain of 4 on first down.
No, nice push by the offensive line. And
4, 2nd down and 6.
2nd and 6, you got to like that.
2nd and 6, Zabo in the shotgun. Gaithers is going to stay in there. Zabo drops back to throw, steps up in the pocket, escapes. Jackson Zabo's scrambling now down to the right sideline. He's going to be into the red zone and further. He's going to go all the way to the end zone. His 3rd total touchdown in the first quarter as he scrambles all the way. And Kilbourne's 3 for 3.
Well, I've heard a lot about him, and now I've seen it in person, and that was an outstanding run. I think he made 4 guys miss.
Yeah, look at a couple players for Watkins made nice plays. They just unable to bring him down. And Jackson Zabo.
Well, he's tough. He not only can pass, he can definitely run too. He's a dual threat.
Looking to remind everybody that he is a dual threat guy. He's already made 2 nice throws, a big scramble there, and what a start for Kilbourne's offense. Hirschy knocks the extra point through. 17 seconds left in the first quarter. Kilbourne jumps to a 21-0 lead. A 46-yard touchdown run there from Jackson Zabo.
Yeah, outstanding run. He's everything that everybody says about him. And he's only a junior.
Only a junior. Has started every game of his high school career. Made his first career start 2 years ago at Watkins Memorial. This game was originally supposed to be at Watkins Memorial. Heard some from friends of mine. We have a Watkins statistician next to us. Not quite finished with the new construction on the visitor side. They didn't want to try to put too many people on one side. It wasn't ready. They were willing to move the game back here for the 2nd straight season.
Yeah, week 4, Watkins will be home for their first game. So they're on the road for the next 3, and then they get to come home and be in their own stadium, which I'm sure they'll be happy to get back.
Tough to start the year with 3 straight road games, but I assume if you ask any of their coaching staff, they don't really care. They're just more focused on winning the games in front of them. As Hirschy will send his 4th kickoff away. And this will skip into the end zone for his third touchback. So Watkins will take the ball at the 25. So drive number 4, Scott, coming up for Watkins so far. They've all resulted in punts. Now down 3 scores. Sure, it is the first quarter, still plenty of football left, but with the way their offense has moved, it's not been what they probably obviously wanted. They would love to have a great drive here, maybe at least get some type of points on the board to build some momentum for them.
Yeah, they need to get some first downs. They need to run some time off the clock because with this quick strike offense of Kilbourne, every play they could take it in, and they have so far tonight.
Xander Madchak leads this Watkins offense back on the field for drive number 4. He will begin in the shotgun with Graham Smith to his left, as well as 2 receivers to his left. Madchak hands it off to the inside, and the tight end in motion, Cooper Oyster.
Cooper Oyster with the carry.
They've used him tonight as sort of a kind of a receiver tight end combo. They love motioning him and using him in the run game.
Yeah, they'll fake it to Smith and then catch the tight end coming back through. And they did have some success. They got a few on that play, so when somebody's down.
Looks like a player for Watkins Memorial is down after that first down play. You hope early in the season with the temperatures and all that any type of injury we see tonight is just type of a cramp related type of injury that you see a lot of those in the high school football, especially around here, kind of the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, just because a lot of these games are in the 70s and 80s temperature wise.
I hope that's all it is.
As it looks like it was Oyster who had the carry there, and he will get some help up, and he will walk off the field. That's a good sign for Watkins. He did get a game. He did pick up 5 on first down as the clock will roll out here, and Worthington Kilbourne with a dominant start here in their first game of the season. 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and they lead 21-0.
Thank you, Nick. Great job. You'll be right back on it when we get the action going here to start the second quarter, as Watkins Memorial will now be moving from north to south. But this is just the first of 10 and maybe more, Scott, with the playoffs. But first of 10 broadcasts here on C-Bus Sports. We apologize for not getting on the air. I'm still working on getting us on the air. New system that I've never used before that Kevin Rao, the owner of C-Bus Sports, put together. We do know next week we're going to be over in my old haunts where I broadcast for 10 years at Hilliard Bradley as the Jaguars host Hilliard Derby in part 1 of 4 games that determine the champion of Hilliard Bradley, Hilliard Davidson, and Hilliard Derby. Maybe that's 3 games. I don't know. I can't do the math, but we'll have that one coming to you live here on C-Bus Sports at 7 p.m. next Friday night, and we will definitely be on the air. And then we'll have the schedule, and you can look on the website. We'll have the schedule from there on out as Nick Hirschy and Scott Murphy will take you home through the rest of the season. And I'll just fill in for the first 2 weeks, and then we'll be going. But here we go for second quarter action, 21-0 at Kilbourne over Watkins.
Madchak starts in the shotgun to begin the second quarter. Gives it inside to Smith, and a nice carry from Graham Smith there, and that's going to be enough to move the chains in a first down. You like to see that on a 2nd and 5, able to move the chains with the run game.
Yeah, they've been faking it to him, and then the quarterback's been keeping him. This time they gave it to him. The offensive line, they got some push and able to pick up a first down. This is what they need to do: sustain a drive to take some time off the clock and maybe get a score.
Down 3 scores. They would love to at least answer one of those on this possession to not completely fall out of this game so early. But they do move the chains on that last play as Madchak is joined with Graham to his right, 3 receivers to his right. Madchak takes the snap, gives it right back to Graham, and he is not going to get past the line of scrimmage, so Kilbourne plays that one well.
Yeah, Will Simon, the big nose guard there, he stuffed that one right there. Same play as they ran the last time, but they lost a yard that play.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for Watkins as we are a minute and counting here into the second quarter. Live from Worthington Kilbourne High School, the opening week of the 2026 high school football season. The 2nd and 10 here for Watkins. Motion the receiver, low snap. Madcheck's going to keep it on his zone read, and he's going to pick up a few. And this should set up about a 3rd and 6 here for Watkins. Or, yeah, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, it was a low snap, so he had to go down to get it. That kind of messed the timing of the play up. But, you know, got a yard, but 3rd and long now.
Gain of 3.
So 3rd and 7 coming up here for Watkins. A little more manageable than their last couple of 3rd downs, but still not the type of 3rd downs that you're looking for. But Watkins here looking to see what they can do here on 3rd and 7. Ten on the play clock here for Watkins. Madcheck moves Graham from his right hip to his left. Receiver in motion. Madcheck's going to keep it, try to get around the edge. Kilbourne's there, tries to work it back, and he's going to lose a few. Kilbourne all over the fake there. And once again, Kilbourne's going to get off the field.
Yeah, I think that was somebody might have went the wrong way there and kind of Xander Madcheck got, there's not much else he could do. He did the best that he could. And for a sophomore, though, give him a lot of credit. He's playing really well. It's hard to do that, a team, especially the caliber of Kilbourne, in your first game as a varsity starter.
Kilbourne's defense been flying around tonight, making plays all over the field as Watkins looks to punt for the 4th time tonight. Good snap there. It's a lower boot. It's going to skip out of bounds. It looks like around. Kilbourne's going to get on their own 43, so another drive for the Wolves with excellent field position.
Yeah, they'd like to get the ball a little farther down the field when they're punting, but at least there was no return, and that keeps the ball out of Meeks' hands.
So Jackson Zabo is going to lead this Kilbourne offense out for the 4th time, and he's responsible for all 3 touchdowns tonight. He's thrown 2 to Meek and then had the 46-yard scramble on the play where he was looking to throw. Watkins got good pressure. He was able to escape and take it all the way to the end zone. So a little bit of confusion here from Kilbourne coming on the field as they're going to have to spend their first time out of the half here with 8:55.
Yeah, they only had 10 men out on the field, so Jackson Sabo saw that. That's his job to make sure that he's got 11, and he called timeout.
So not the most ideal situation there, especially when you're coming on a switch from offense to defense. You would hope you're all ready to roll, but some confusion. But as much as you don't want it to happen, that's something that can happen in week 1 and week 2 when you're just kind of getting the season rolling.
It's the opening game. There's going to be some mistakes made, but you learn from those, and you won't make them again.
That might have been the first mistake Kilbourne's offense has made all night.
I believe it was.
Zabo drops to throw, feels pressure, rolls to his right, keeping his eyes upfield. Zabo slings it downfield, and it's complete. Nice throw from Jackson Zabo. Grady Warner, the tight end, gets free, and Zabo didn't have to scramble there, but making plays with his feet.
No, he did. There was 3 Watkins players trying to get him, and he just went outside. His speed was so good that he outran them all and was able to complete the pass on the run.
Zabo takes the snap, hands it to Gaithers, and Watkins plays that well. That's going to be a loss of 1. So Watkins' run defense gets some pressure on the interior there, making a stop.
Mason Allen, the big defensive lineman, was able to get through. Excellent play.
So the Wolves lose 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. They'll have the ball on already the Watkins 33-yard line. Zabo takes the snap, looks left. Zabo looks deep, He will take off here. Zabo's going to run again. Looking for a block from Meek. Gets it. Zabo, and he's right around the 10. This might set up a 1st and goal. So another little scramble from Zabo with his legs. Picks up 23.
Yeah, just like that. He made something out of nothing. But I give the Kilbourne offense credit, because once they saw him running, everybody was going to make a block, and they put him to make a big play.
So Kilbourne's got the ball. They will put it at the 10. It's 1st and goal. Zabo in the shotgun. Warner moves from left to right. Zabo hands it off to Gaithers, runs to his right, gets the corner, and they're going to spot him out of bounds.
Knocked out of bounds by number 0, Patrick Schroyer.
Looks like he picked up a gain of 7 on 1st down.
Yeah, looks like he's at the 3. So
Spot at the 4-yard line, 2nd down and goal.
let's see how Watkins' goal line defense is here, because they need to stand tall now.
2nd and goal from the 3. Zabo in the shotgun, and we're going to have a timeout from Watkins. So that'll be their first time out of the half.
Watkins, their first of the half.
So Watkins trying to do everything in their power here to try to at least force the Wolves to maybe a field goal. You would hope, especially they're this close with the reliable kicker of Eric or Sias. You're just hoping maybe you get lucky and you force a turnover. But if you're Kilbourne, you're looking to force them for 3 here. Or if you're Watkins, rather, you're looking to force
Watkins,
Kilbourne
you
for
want to
3.
hold them, and Kilbourne wants to score a touchdown. That's what they do. And but let's see what happens. Let's see how that goal line defense, if they can rise to the occasion and make a stop here.
The sun has finally gone behind some clouds here at Worthington Kilbourne. A lot of the stadiums that we've done games in the past, when I used to broadcast with Eric a couple of years ago, we were facing east, so the sun was behind us. Here at Kilbourne, we're facing west. Dealt with the sun for about the first half of the first quarter, so now we've got some clear vision on the field.
Oh, no, this is lovely here. You can see his little breeze.
So we're back here. Zabo in the shotgun. Zabo's going to keep it on a quarterback run, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson Zabo. His 2nd rushing touchdown and his 4th total touchdown of the game already, about a quarter and a half in.
Yeah, they ran the RPO. He faked it to Gators and kept the ball, went around the left side, and touchdown. So he's got 2, and Meek has 2 now.
27-0 Kilbourne, as Eric Sias will attempt his 4th extra point of the night. That was, yeah. The 3-yard touchdown there from Zabo, and looked like some movement. Or Sias's kick was good. Maybe he didn't. Maybe they didn't jump. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like Watkins maybe had jumped, but I don't think they jumped offsides.
Yeah, they might not have crossed the line of scrimmage, so there was no call. And
so 28-0 Kilbourne with 7:50 to go in the first half. Couldn't ask for a better start from the Wolves. 4 defensive stops. They forced 4 punts, and then 4 offensive touchdowns on 4 possessions, as they have come out swinging here in week 1.
yeah, it's right where they left off last year. They haven't missed a beat, and I think they've even got a few more weapons this year than they did last year, and they were loaded then. So, yeah, they're looking really good. And Watkins, they just need to play for pride to get better. This is how you do it. You play against a good team. Make yourself better. Play hard every play.
Like you said, this Kilbourne offense hasn't missed a beat. Even in the opening round playoff loss to Walnut Ridge last year, they still scored 42 points.
Yeah, the only problem was Ridge scored 58.
Yeah.
So that was a track meet there, man. They went back and forth.
So Sias will get ready to kick off for the 5th time tonight. And kicks it into the corner. And this one's going to go out of bounds, though. So this will put Watkins in a little bit better field position than they've dealt with.
Yeah, he usually puts some real nice height on the kicks, and that was more of a line drive, and it just drifted off to the left side of the field and went out of bounds. So Watkins going to get some pretty good field position.
Watkins will now come out for their 5th offensive possession tonight. They have punted all 4 times. A couple of their drives, though, more recently, they have picked up a couple of first downs.
Out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Watkins will take over at their own 35 rather than the 25 on a standard touchback. But Scott, this Kilbourne defense has been flying around, stopping the run and the pass for the most part tonight.
Yeah, so far this year, they look much improved from last year. That might have been, their Achilles heel because they gave up. They scored 34 game average and gave up 25. So they're, you want the defense to hold them a little bit more, which they're doing tonight. So I think they've made a lot of improvements.
Definitely, indeed. Like Scott said earlier, 58 points they surrendered to Walnut Ridge last year, and it just looks different so far. Small sample size, 4 possessions, but much improved from the end of last season. As they'll swing it out here to Smith. He spins free, and Smith's going to barrel out toward the 45, and they might give him the first down. So Madchek just kind of swings it out to Smith. He's hit a couple of runs tonight, but the run game hadn't really been clicking, so they call a little swing pass.
No, that's good. Yeah, he had a couple decent runs, but that was a real nice play, and he, flared him out to the left side and hit him with a pass. He made a couple guys miss, nice spin, and got a first down. That's what they need to do.
Last couple of possessions, Kilbourne's defense, they've been pinning their ears back, really coming after the quarterback, really just trying to get pressure on the interior. So a nice call there from Watkins. Madchek is going to sweep it out. Smith's going to keep it, and Smith's going to pick up 5. So nice back-to-back plays here from Watkins, and they're already toward midfield. And we got a Watkins injury here.
Yeah, it looks like Mason Allen, offensive lineman. But he looks like he's in some pain.
Looked like he was originally started on the left side of the offensive line, and the play went to the right. I was unable to see what happened. I just saw when the play ended, he tried to walk it off for a minute, but then realized he needed to go down. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a cramp. It might be the way that the trainer has his leg up. They're trying to relieve that because there's nothing more painful than being out in the field on a hot night, and that you get it in your calf or your thigh or your hamstring, and it is brutal.
Hot night when I arrived to the stadium at about 5:45. It's starting to cool down just a bit. We're getting a little bit of a breeze. Hopefully that'll help out some of the players here as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's helped me out. I was sweating, and now I'm drying off a little bit. Feels pretty good.
I was telling Eric off the air, good thing we're not doing a TV broadcast where people had to see me, because I was drenched in sweat when we were about to go on the air with the sun coming right in our window. Fortunately, that's now gone down and much cooler up here. So look at it's Evan Ryan, and he's going to walk off the field. That's a good thing tonight. Both the Watkins injuries, the players were able to walk off on their own power.
No, that's a good thing. And he looks like he's walking pretty good. So hopefully he'll be back.
So we'll resume play here. 2nd and 6 for Watkins on their own 49. They've had the ball once in Kilbourne territory, but a delay game penalty set them back, and that resulted in one of their punts tonight. Madchek in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Takes the snap. Hands it inside. Nice move right there, and a first down, and that was actually Isaiah Ewing. So they bring in another running back, and he kind of picks his way through, and they move the chains again.
Yeah, real nice play. Good blocking there, and he did a really good job at 5'10", 167 sophomore. So nice job.
So Graham Smith will check back in after the nice carry from Ewing to move the chains.
And that's what Watkins has to do. They're doing a good job of it this time. They're executing their plays. They're moving the ball down. They're running clock. Because when Worthington doesn't have the ball, they can't score.
So we had a bit of a clock issue there, but we've got things rolling again, and Watkins has the ball 1st and 10 on the Kilbourne 45. Hatchek's in the shotgun. Smith will be on his right. They will split 2 receivers both on the left and right side. Hatchek takes the snap, keeps it. Kilbourne was ready for it, but I think Matchek still fell forward for at least about a yard, maybe half a yard. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, they're trying to that RPO where, you know, he faked to Smith going up the middle and then pulls it out and it goes around the right side. But the Kilbourne defense was waiting for him.
Kilbourne's defense tonight pretty good defending the edges in the run game. Most of the success for Watkins' run, at least from what I've seen, has been kind of between the tackles. Hatchek in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Keeps it. Kilbourne's all over it. It's a sack. Ball might have came out, but I think the officials are marking him dead.
Yeah, I think he was down. But
brought down number 35, Mason Cost.
Yeah, the sophomore, there was 3 guys waiting for him.
I was going to say, I was waiting on our PA announcer over here, David Strasbaugh, to let us know who got him, because I saw 3 people got him, and I was just going to roll with whoever he had.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a chance on that play, but I give him a lot of credit. He held on to the ball.
So he lost a couple there. It'll be 3rd and 11 here, inside of 5 minutes to go in the first half. Another 3rd and long for Watkins. Matchek's in the shotgun. They continue to stay in the 2-by-2 split. Takes the snap, drops back. Matchek looks, fires. That is caught. He's going to be short.
Pass complete to number 1, Colton Schlegel.
Colton Schlegel with a nice catch. Had to go up for that a little bit. He is going to be a couple of yards short, but I don't even think there's any.
No, they're going for it.
I don't think there's any concern for Watkins about wanting to do anything else but go for it here. So we'll have it on the Kilbourne 38. It'll be 4th and 3 as we approach 4 minutes to go in the first half. And a big play for the Watkins offense coming up. Jacob Lash will line a direct snap to Graham Smith, and he didn't get there. They went with a power set. Smith tried to get to the right. Kilbourne was ready.
Griffin Miller.
Number 33, Griffin Miller.
Smith maybe got a yard, but he needed 3, so Kilbourne's defense comes flying off the edge, and they get another stop.
Play results in a turnover on downs. 1st down and 10, Kilbourne.
So Kilbourne will take over on their own 37. They've scored all 4 times tonight. The first 2 were Zabo passing touchdowns. The last 2, Zabo rushing touchdowns.
That's what Watkins needed to do, though. They ran some clock, got some 1st downs, and now see if they can hold them.
Zabo in the shotgun. Drops, rolls to his right. Zabo looks upfield, finds Meek. Good throw on the sideline.
Number 7, Alex Meek.
Gain of 11 and a 1st down.
Yeah, just a classic out route, and man, that's money. He put it right there, and that's hard to defend against, I'll tell you.
1st down and 10, Kilbourne.
So they give him 11. Kilbourne will have it on their own 48. Zabo drops to throw again. Steps up, slings it over the middle. Catch made by Sean Rice. And he's down inside the Watkins 35.
Sean Rice.
So in just 2 plays, Kilbourne is already inside deep-ish into Watkins territory.
Looks like we got a flag.
Ball spotted on the 33-yard line. There's a flag on the field.
The officials come together to discuss this flag in the holding zone. We'll see exactly what it is.
That's going to negate a well-executed play because Jackson Sabo's got an arm, and he's putting it right on target.
So the officials talking this one over. They're also trying to get the ball properly spotted after the penalty. Mike Edwards wants an explanation.
Holding. Offense number 24. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So it's a 10-yard penalty on the hold there by Kilbourne. This will back it up to the 38. So it'll be 1st and 20. And it is the first night game for everybody. First game for us, first game for the players, first game for the officials. Just trying to make sure everything is done correctly. Well, the ball was originally on the 48, so the ball should be moved back to the 38. I think they're just trying to get the chains set up properly.
Yeah, I think they got it now.
So 1st and 20 coming up here for Kilbourne. Szabo takes a snap, drops back, rolls to his right, keeps his eyes upfield, and he'll just throw it away. But some good pressure there by Watkins.
Good pressure, but once Szabo gets out of the pocket, they just can't get a hand on him. He is too elusive, and he did the smart thing. Nobody was open, so he threw the ball out of bounds.
2nd and 20 coming up here for Worthington Kilbourne. We appreciate everybody's patience with some technical difficulties. We are officially live on the air as Szabo slings it up to Warner, the tight end. Grady Warner is going to get close, if not to the first down marker, as we want to welcome everybody in. 3:15 to go in the first half. It's been all Worthington Kilbourne so far. Four possessions, 4 touchdowns for Kilbourne, and 5 defensive stops for the Wolves. Szabo, 2 passing touchdowns to Alec Meek, and then 2 rushing touchdowns as they now have the ball here on the Watkins 45, 1st and 10. Szabo and keeps it, actually. Rolls out. He's already shown his speed tonight, gets the first down and scoots out of bounds.
Yeah, that's that RPO. Fake to the running back up the middle and then took off around the left end. A couple nice blocks, and he's got another first down.
A first down there by Jackson Szabo. Picks up 10, and they will move the chains. As tonight it's been all Worthington Kilbourne as they're looking to add another touchdown before the break. Watkins did win the toss, and they took the football first, so Kilbourne would also get it in the second half. Szabo under center, hands it off to Wilkinson, and no gain.
Number 24, Garrett Wilkinson with the carry. Brought down by number 63, Donovan Lewis.
So 2nd and 10.
No gain, 2nd down.
Coming up for Kilbourne.
Yeah, Wilkinson's getting some play at running back. They got him listed as a wide receiver, so.
Szabo drops back, looking to throw. Looks deep toward the end zone. Has a man. Got him. Touchdown. Sean Rice wins a one-on-one battle on the top of the field, rather, from where we're sitting. And a beautiful throw from Jackson Szabo, and Kilbourne is 5 for 5.
Yeah, that was just a go route down the left side, and he was 5 yards behind him, and Szabo's been just on fire. He put it right in his hands, in stride, touchdown.
Sean Rice's first game with Worthington Kilbourne. He transferred in just before the football season last year, but due to the transfer rules was unable to play football, but had a solid basketball season, I'm told.
Yeah, he's an athlete, that's for sure, and he's got speed. So they'll be able to use him a lot this year.
So Ericon Ursias and knocks it through, but we have some laundry on the field, and indication appears.
False start. Offense number 57. 5-yard penalty.
False start on Worthington Kilbourne, so that'll back it up 5. Ursias, a top 40 ranked kicker in his class. Had some big kicks last season, including a game-winning 45-yard field goal at Dublin Scioto to win the Battle of Hard Road. His older brother Musab was a kicker here at Kilbourne for 2 years. His younger brother Kai is the backup kicker. a family of kickers here at Worthington Kilbourne.
You got to love it.
As Ursias says, you want to move me back 5 yards, that's fine. I'll put it right through. So Kilbourne takes a 35-0 lead here with 2:07 in the first half. As a coaching staff for Kilbourne, Scott, you couldn't have asked for a better start on both sides of the ball in your first game of the season.
No, we knew they were going to be a really good team. We didn't know what Watkins was going to bring, but they have a lot of, first-year starters. And we're starting to see, Kilbourne is loaded. And, Watkins, they'll get better. They just got to get through tonight and keep playing hard.
So Ursias will kick off for, I've lost track of how many times. He's got 3 touchbacks tonight at least. Had to kick out of bounds the last time. He's looking to maybe prevent that this time.
Isaiah 22, Graham Smith returning for.
No, to have a kicker like him is so important. They win games. They give you good field position on the kickoffs. And I believe he's one of the top 40. And that would be in the country, right?
That's what I'm told.
Yeah. No, he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a couple years left to go after this one.
Ursias gets ready to send another kick away, and he drives this one. This is not going to be returnable into the end zone for a touchback, so Watkins will take over at the 25.
This might be 20-yard line, first and 10.
So Scott, Watkins has 2:07 left in this first half. 2 timeouts to see if they can maybe get anything on the board here before the half is concluded.
Well, I think Coach Waters is what he's going to do is what he did on the last series. He's going to keep the ball close to the vest, try to drive, get a couple first downs, run out some clock, and go to halftime and try to regroup and see what they can do in the second half.
Kilbourne's defense has a couple times they've been bent by this Watkins offense, but they have not broke. As ball is at the 20 rather here. Watkins first and 10. Matt check in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Fakes it to Smith. Kilbourne had got there. They didn't get him at first, but a few men will bring him down, and that's going to be a loss of at least 4.
Yeah, it's Big Will Simon first. Matchek did a good job to elude his tackle, and but the rest of the gang was coming, and they put him down.
Officially going to mark it a loss of 5. We'll back it up to the 15 here. Clock's going to roll. 1:40 left in the half. As Kilbourne's defense continues to be dominant here tonight. Originally supposed to be an away game for Kilbourne, but due to construction at Watkins, the game was moved back here. Wolves will host their rival Thomas Worthington next week. Atchek rolls to his left, looks upfield, fires, intercepted. And all the way back to the end zone, a pick 6. Montel Rice Jr. And it's the Kilbourne defense now getting a touchdown.
Yeah, that's why I thought they might just, try to run out the clock and not. But yeah, Matchek kind of threw that right to him, and he knew what to do with it. He intercepted it and scored.
And now Kilbourne's defense saying, "Hey, let us score a touchdown." So the Wolves will break 40 here in the first half.
Ursias to attempt the extra point.
Ursias will attempt his 6th PAT tonight. As Watkins gets their 11th guy on late. Ursias' kick is up. And good. 42-0 Worthington Kilbourne with 1:09 left in the first half. So, Scott, it's the defense now getting on the board.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you're backed up, close to your own end zone, and you're down by a lot of points.
Montel Rice at the 25-yard interception returned for a touchdown. As
Montel was waiting on that one.
Looked like maybe sitting in zone coverage there. I didn't see his eyes move off of the quarterback, and he read that all the way. And once he caught it, he took off, and nobody was going to catch him.
Well, outstanding play.
So Arcius has had a kind of a busy night kicking PATs and having kickoffs, as he will look to send another one away.
Back to Watkins.
So 1:09 remaining here in the first half. 42-0 Worthington Kilbourne ahead of Watkins Memorial here in week 1. As Arcius sends it away. This is a shorter kick, and it will be returned by Smith. And toward the Watkins sideline, he will scamper out of bounds right around the 20-yard line, so they'll take over 1st and 10. We'll see where they officially spot it, either the 20 or the 21. Looks like the 20. So Watkins will be back to work on offense after the interception from Kilbourne return for a touchdown.
I don't think you'll see any passes on this series.
You would think maybe 2 run plays or 2 kneel downs here.
Yeah, they're going to try
to get this game to halftime. Kilbourne.
Get it over with. Get in the second half and try to do a little soul searching and get ready to come back and play another half of football.
Wolves in complete control as Manchek will hand it off inside. And a nice carry there by
22,
Graham Smith. He picks up 6 here as this clock rolls inside of a minute. Watkins will be forced to run at least one more play here before our conclusion of the first half.
Correction, 6 yards. 2nd down and 4.
A gain of 6 there by Smith. Sets up a 2nd and 4. That check will be in the shotgun. And they'll just hand it off to Smith again, and he picks up a 1st down, so another nice carry. So move the chains here. Clock will stop momentarily with 23 seconds to move the chains.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see for Watkins Memorial coaches. You want to see the players are still playing hard. They're opening up holes for Smith, and I think they'll come out in the second half and show a little better.
So it doesn't look like Watkins is going to run another play here. And that is going to take us to the end of the first half, and Worthington Kilbourne in complete control. 42-0 Wolves here at Worthington Kilbourne. A dominant first half from the Wolves, and we'll see you for the second half.
Thank you, man. Great job there by Nick Hirschy taking over on the play-by-play, and he is joined by Scott Murphy for this first broadcast of the season on C-Bus Sports. I was in constant contact with Kevin Rao, the owner of C-Bus Sports, to try to get us on the air, and somehow I pushed the right buttons, and we finally did late in that second quarter. But it was all Worthington Kilbourne from start to finish of this first 24 minutes of the game. Kilbourne forced 1 turnover and forced 5 punts and 1 kneel down. Kilbourne was operating on all 11 cylinders on offense, as Kilbourne was able to put up 21 points in the first quarter and 21 points in the second quarter. The Wolves kicked off. Watkins Memorial won the toss and decided they wanted to receive. And the Wolves pinned him back to the 20-yard line. One of, 3 or 4 touchbacks by kicker Erkin Osiris. Did a tremendous job pinning them back. And after a 1st down, they forced a punt, did Kilbourne. And Kilbourne then took over, and in a very quick drive, as a matter of fact, I think it might have been just one play, 34-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Sabo to Alex Meek after Meek had returned a very short punt into Watkins territory. The kick by Osiris was good, and it was 7-0 nearly 3 minutes into the game. After another punt, It was a 14-yard touchdown pass from Zabo to Meek again. The extra point was good, and with 3:23 left in the first quarter, 14-0 favor of Kilbourne. And then after forcing a third punt with 17 seconds to go, or making a third punt, 17 seconds to go in the first quarter, Sabo ran around the left end for a 46-yard touchdown run. Extra point good again, 21-0. The second quarter was more of the same with 7:50 to go till halftime. Sabo had his second touchdown on the ground, a 3-yard touchdown run. That was followed by a touchdown pass from Zabo to Montel Rice Jr. That was 35 yards. All of these extra points are good by Osiris. And then Rice on defense picked off a pass and returned it 25 yards for a touchdown. And Watkins Memorial decided just to kneel it, to take it in to halftime with Kilbourne up 21-0. Kilbourne will receive the ball to start the second half. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of youngsters, Scott, in this second half, really for both teams, as they're trying to feel their way, especially with Watkins Memorial. Watkins, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, although it wasn't on air yet, but we talked about the fact that Watkins lost most of their offense and defense from last year.
No, they did. They lost a lot of players, and Coach Waters was, he wanted to give these seniors a chance, but, there's a lot of underclassmen playing for Watkins, too. I mean, they started a sophomore at quarterback in Matchek. I thought he did a good job considering how much pressure he was under, and it's hard to play against a team like that, being young and just having your first start. But they have a lot to talk about at halftime. Watkins does, and I know Coach Waters will come out. And like you said, there's be a lot of guys getting some action tonight on both teams.
And that's what you want to do, obviously. You just want to see how they're going to respond. Of course, coming into the game, Kilbourne, we mentioned a playoff team last year. They finished the season at 7-5, and they play in a very tough Ohio Capital Conference Capital Division. And, they're playoff tested last year. They scored 42 points in that playoff loss at Walnut Ridge last season, losing to the Ridge 58-42. No surprise. It's all going to be Jackson Sabo's show, Scott. He's a third-year starter, as Nick mentioned before we actually got on here. He started his very first game as a freshman. Very few guys do that. And he's got the poise of, 21 games under his belt, and he's showing it.
No, I've read a lot about him, heard a lot about him, and now that I've got to see him in person, he's everything that everybody's talking about. He's a cool customer. He can run. He can throw. He can do it all, and under pressure, he is cool and calm and collected.
Yeah, he was first team all Ohio Capital Conference Capital Division. He was the co-offensive player of the year with Nolan Burley, the big man from Big Walnut. They split that honor. Of course, Mike Edwards was coach of the year in the Capital Division. His first team all Central District was Jackson Sabo, and he was second team All-State. Along with the kicker, Erkin Osiris, we'll bring Nick Hirschy back in. And Osiris, he's got a really good foot. Over the years at Bradley, we saw some pretty good kickers, including Jacob Walter that last couple of years. But Osiris is the real deal.
Well, his brother was a great kicker here for Kilbourne, and he's coaching the kickers and punters this year. The youngest, or one of the younger brothers, is the backup kicker. Like I said earlier, kickers running their family. Usab, he only missed one kick the entire senior season back in 2021. Eric Counter-Size, I think, went 33 for 34 on PATs last year. It was really reliable. Hit that 45-yarder over Dublin Scioto to win the Battle of Hard Road. He made some big kicks last year and was a big part of their success, and already making some contributions. Haven't really needed him in the kicking game too much tonight, but he's been reliable on his PATs.
First team all OCC Capital, first team all district, and second team all state, along with Jackson Sabo. And I tell you what, Scott, when you have, I think a kicker in high school is underrated. I coached 6 years at Hilliard Bradley on the freshman team, and we always made sure we groomed a kicker because I actually hate to have teams that don't have a kicker and they got to go for 2 every time. It's coming from 3-yard line. I like that automatic 1 after the touchdown.
Well, the kicking game as a whole is one of the most important parts of a football game, and to win a game, the kicking game, like you said, the hard road 45-yarders, time was out to win the game. That's the kind of thing they do to get field position. But I've always been taught the kicking game. You have to win the kicking game. If you do that, you'll probably win the football game. And
I think at least in my experience watching football games over the years in Central Ohio, there's not a ton of teams that have great kickers like Kilbourne does tonight. And having a guy like Eric Connor's size to be able to hit from 45, I watched the clip back this morning just to kind of get familiar with him again. In my opinion, the kick's good from 50. It wasn't like it just barely got through. So to have a kicker with that strong and accurate of a leg, not very common, at least around here. So that's going to be a big piece for Kilbourne in some of their bigger games, especially in conference as the season goes on.
Yeah, and he's got 2 years to go. And then if he's the 40th ranked kicker in the country, he'll be kicking somewhere in a D1 uniform in a couple years too.
42-0 here at halftime. I'm Eric Welch, joined by our play-by-play guy Nick Hirschy and color analyst Scott Murphy. And Worthington Kilbourne, we were just talking about how they came into the season pretty well loaded. The last guy I want to talk about is Alex Meek, the 6'2" junior at 185 pounds, 43 catches last year as a sophomore, 641 yards and 6 touchdowns. And we saw it. He was the #1 target after that great punt return, Scott. That kid's pretty dadgum talented. He has 2 touchdowns. Make it 1 touchdown tonight, or is it 2?
He
does
have
2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And Rice had 1 on a beautiful pass. We did that go route down the left side and hit him in stride. He was 5 yards behind him. No, they have a lot of offensive talent. They got a lot of weapons. And they're going to be difficult to handle here down the road. There's going to be some tough games, though. You know that because they moved up, they're in D1 now from D2. And so it's going to be a little different ball game when it comes to playoff time.
Yep, that's a great point there as the numbers rolled out. Worthington Kilbourne jumping from, not that they're real excited about it, but from that Division II, which is a bear. I mean, it's state of Ohio, it's great football. But down to Division I, or up to Division I, the big boys, as you mentioned. And then, of course, the first touchdown for Sean Rice, the receiving touchdown. And you mentioned that he did not play last year. And by the way, folks, Rice is spelled R-I-C-E with Sean Rice, not to be confused with Montel Rice Jr., who spells his name beginning with a W, W-R-I-C-E. But talk a little bit about Sean Rice.
Well, I happened to be a Worthington Kilbourne grad just by chance. This is the first game of the season we got to do. And I happen to know Ron Lewis. He was an assistant basketball coach when I played basketball my last year. Well, Sean Rice wasn't eligible to play football due to the transfer rules, but was eligible to play basketball. He played basketball last season. And you could just see that athleticism he had on the basketball court. You knew when he was eligible to play football this season, it was going to show. And you saw him just get right by that defender on that go ball toward the end of the first half.
No, he's long and lean, and that play he kind of looked like Jerry Rice. One of the greatest receivers of all time. So that's putting him in pretty high company, but he's got a lot of talent, and I think you'll see by the end of the season what he does.
Less than a minute later, Scott, it was Montel Rice Jr., and we mentioned W-R-I-C-E, according to the roster at least. And boy, he caught that interception really thrown right at him, but he knew where the end zone was.
Yeah, no, and the other Kilbourne players were blocking as soon as they heard that fire. You look to hit somebody, and he went untouched into the end zone. And they're well coached and they well executions all over the
Looked
field.
like he was in zone coverage there. I didn't see his eyes move off the quarterback, and he jumped that receiver, and he had the guys right in front of him blocking. It was almost like once they heard the crowd pop, those guys all turned. 3 great blocks, and he was able to basically walk to the end zone.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that they threw the ball with so little time left in the half and backed up, because you see it time and time again. When you do something like that, sometimes you pay dearly.
272 total yards for Worthington Kilbourne. And, of course, they were helped with the interception return for the touchdown and then the great punt return by Alex Meek. Just 97 yards for Watkins Memorial. But, Watkins Memorial, we talked about it last year. They had a veteran ball club, but finished 4-6. And part of that was a loss to Kilbourne in week 1 here at Kilbourne, and that was a 24-17 game late. As a matter of fact, it was tied. But Watkins had the lead. No, it was tied 17 all going to the fourth quarter. A couple of touchdowns by Sabo opened things up. A 3-yard touchdown run by Sabo and a 5-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. That kind of gave them the big lead, 31-17. But then Drew Samsel found Austin Rowe for a touchdown. The PAT was blocked, but that came with less than a minute to go in the game. But that was a tough loss for Watkins last year. In addition to that loss, Watkins had the overtime loss to Johnstown 43-42, and they lost a nail biter later in the season in week 7, 28-27 to Mount Vernon. Those two games right there, take away the Kilbourne loss last year, could have put them in the playoffs, but they lost a boatload of players, including, as we mentioned, that quarterback Drew Samsel, who was Mr. Everything for that team. And I think they're kind of showing it this year in this first half. They don't have that leadership that Samsel provided the last couple of years.
Yeah, and that's why, they're starting a sophomore now in Xander Matchek. And so he's learning the hard way. But that'll make him a better football player. It'll make Watkins a better player. Team, once they get into the schedule and start playing more. Coach Waters will have them ready to go. It'll be interesting to see how they come out and play in the second half.
Yeah, they had Austin Rowe and Cody York combined for 35 catches last year, but they graduated. And then Rocco Pascal, who was senior linebacker, 100-tackle season, his third straight, and was a really good running back, mostly out of the fullback position. And they're just searching for those weapons to replace them.
Well, they've got a young team, and you just kind of have to figure that out. And I'm sure they've had some scrimmages. You scrimmage against each other, but you really don't know what you have until you get out there in the first game. And they just got to continue to see here in the second half what they have, build on the positives, and get themselves ready for their next game.
Well, as a coach, you're looking for men to step up, and that's the opportunity that the Watkins players are going to have. So if you want to play, you got to get it done in practice and go out and execute in the JV games and play hard in the varsity games. And pretty soon, as a sophomore, you get 1, 2, 3, 5 games under your belt, and you start improving. And that's how, when they're seniors, then they'll be tough.
And I think you're going to see what players have that mindset of wanting to see this team get better each and every week. You're down 42 points right now. Could you come back and win? Maybe, but the chances of that are pretty slim. You're now trying to build in the second half and just have some positive plays go your way to build into week 2, to have some more confidence and for the rest of the season.
No, you got to make it happen. That's what they need to come out and play hard. And Coach Waters is going to find guys that want to play, and they're not going to quit. They're going to play hard.
Very tough for Watkins to get started. Their leading rusher last year was Graham Smith. Smith had 959 yards and 9 touchdowns, and they were looking coming into this season, I'm sure, to have him carry a huge load. But Scott, when you're down after your first couple of possessions by 2 or 3 touchdowns, it's really tough to dig out of that hole just running the running back constantly.
Well, you got to try to develop a running game, though, because you're going to need it. Because Xander's a sophomore. You know, he throws a nice spiral, but he's never been tested in this kind of situations, and he's getting a lot of pressure put on him. That'll make him better. So he's impressed me as a young sophomore starting the first varsity game against a team the caliber of Worthington Kilbourne. So, you know, we'll see how they do when they come out, but they're going to find players that want to play, and they'll be all right.
42-0, homestanding Worthington Kilbourne over Watkins Memorial at halftime. Let's take a look around Central Ohio. The top 25 poll released by the Columbus Dispatch on August 17th has Bishop Watterson #1 and Big Walnut #2. Two of the top teams obviously in the area. Watterson all the time, state championship last year. Big Walnut made it to the Final Four, and if I'm not mistaken, to the championship game. Two pretty good ball clubs. Watterson opens at White House Anthony Wayne up northeast or northwest, and of course Big Walnut is hosting Hilliard Bradley. We'll have Darby at Hilliard Bradley, but that's a pretty good 1-2 punch at the top of the charts there, Nick.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Watterson last year has been dominant in the playoffs, sort of like Kilbourne. They've been moved up a division. I believe it's from Division 3 to Division 2. And I feel like in the postseason, you know, if they get there, which I assume they're going to get there, but you never know what's going to happen. They're going to run into some challenges earlier in that postseason, but they typically always play a pretty good regular season schedule, though.
The rest of the top 10 has Pickerington Central following Big Walnut, and Pickerington North is 4th. Olentangy Orange is 5th. Olentangy Liberty is 6th. Upper Arlington is 7. And down tied for 15th is Hilliard Bradley. Let's talk about Orange, Liberty, Upper Arlington, and Hilliard Bradley. They, along with Hilliard Davidson and Dublin Kaufman, make up the Ohio Capital Conference Central Division. That's going to be a tough division.
Well, I think that that whole conference might be the best conference in the country as far as top to bottom. I mean, if you look at them, and then you see what Orange did last year, they steamrolled 15-0 right to the state championship. And I don't even think they were tested.
After Liberty won the year before.
Right. So
the year before that, Bradley went to the Final Four.
That's right. Lost to St. Edwards in 2023.
Typically, that division's always they've spit out a state contender the last few years.
They're loaded. I mean, from top to bottom, and the amount of schools, big Division I schools. Pretty impressive.
The rest of the top 10 is released by the Columbus Dispatch, and their Central Ohio top 25 poll has DeSales at 8, and tied for 9th is Gahanna Lincoln and Olentangy, the original school. And we'll go ahead and give you the rest of it. Canal Winchester, Olentangy, Berlin, London, Licking Valley, who this Watkins Memorial team will play later this year. We mentioned Bradley tied at 15th. Worthington Kilbourne is tied with Bradley at 15th in this dispatch poll. 17 is Harvest Prep, and Harvest Prep lost a tough one at Versailles last night. Kevin Rao was there with his camera and taking pictures and wrote a story. Colin Boff misfired on a last-second throw from the 3-yard line that would have given Harvest Prep the win. It was incomplete, and Versailles ran out the clock. So they're 17th. Jonathan Alder is 18th. Columbus Academy is 19th. Bloom Carroll, Grove City, Granville, Hilliard Davidson, Westville South, and Groveport round out. Westville South will be an opponent of Worthington Kilbourne later this year. And of course, Granville will play Watkins Memorial later this year. And as we get to the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds of this first half, got some scores up on the C-Bus Sports scoreboard, and you can check those. You can listen to our broadcast. You can check the scores, the updated scores. Kevin Rao back at the studio is monitoring all kinds of websites to get as many scores as he can. By the way, it's 42-0 favor of Kilbourne here over Watkins Memorial. But then after we're done and we're off the air, go to cbussports.com. That's CBUSSPORTS.com and check out Kevin doing the scoreboard show. He'll do that each of the 10 weeks, and I hope to join him some of those times. Let's take a look at, Amanda Clear Creek at West Jefferson. West Jefferson deep playoff runs year in and year out. That second quarter, West Jeff is up only 7-6 over Amanda Clear Creek. Grandview Heights leads Centennial 7-0. That's a first half score. If you see anything that jumps out, Nick, let me know. Dublin Kaufman and Bishop Hartley are tied at 7 in the second.
Wow, Big Walnut off to a fast start.
Big Walnut up 25-0 on Hilliard Bradley, and we talked about it. They're number 2 in the dispatch poll.
Lancaster up on Darby 9-0. Well, we got Darby Bradley next week, so keep an eye on those 2 opponents.
That's always a great matchup. Love doing those over the 10 years that broadcast Bradley games. Davidson, another Hilliard school, up 9-0 on Mansfield Senior. That's first quarter action. Westerville North leads Marysville at Westerville North in the second quarter, 10-0.
At halftime, Big Walnut 25, Hilliard Bradley 0.
Lakewood St. Ed's up 7-6 on Liberty at halftime. Liberty, I was looking through their schedule. Their non-conference schedule is brutal. They host Glenville next week.
Oh, yeah.
They play Glenville every year. Ted Ginn Sr.
Yep.
And his program, they've had multiple Buckeyes like Arvell Reese.
And I think they've moved. I think Glenville might have moved up as well. That's a great point right there. Here's one, Scott. Gahanna 21 at home over Pickerington Central 0. 21-0.
Wow.
Gahanna.
Well, that's a rivalry. They've been playing each other for many, many years. Central was supposed to be, they're ranked 3rd or 4th in the area. And
yep.
And Gahanna, I think they're getting a little revenge here.
Westville South 0.
But there's still a lot of football left, too.
Absolutely.
And you know the kind of athletes that Central has.
That's a great point.
Watterson's up 14-0 on Anthony Wayne, the number 1 team in the dispatch poll. Scoreless game with Westerville South and Jerome in the second quarter.
DeSales up 14-0 at home over Youngstown Ursuline.
RJ Day, their quarterback, son of Ryan Day, Northwestern commit to who's their offensive coordinator now? Chip Kelly at Northwestern.
Good call. Jonathan Alder is up at home 34-3 over West Liberty Salem, and we're heading to the final 25 seconds of halftime. Glad you could join us, folks. Those of you who are able to find us late in the second quarter, we had all kinds of technical issues. New computer, old board, new internet, new guys doing this on this new equipment, and I just couldn't get it going and just kept going and going and going. Somehow maybe Kevin will put the full broadcast up because we have recorded the full broadcast. But glad you could join us. As Nick mentioned, next week it will be Hilliard Derby at Hilliard Bradley right here on cbuzzsports.com. Find us on our YouTube channel, and we'll go on the air at probably 6:45 or 6:50, and we won't be looking into the sun. 42-0 here. Worthington Kilbourne up on Watkins as they get ready to kick off to Kilbourne. And Nick, Scott, take it away.
Thanks, Eric, for joining us. Always fun to do these type of things with you. As Kilbourne returns the second half kickoff, Sean Rice, and he's picking his way up to the 31, so nice return. So Kilbourne will start the second half here with the football with a 42-0 advantage.
Yeah, and a nice kick by Jax Day for Watkins, who's only a sophomore. He almost put it in the end zone. Put Rice right back to the goal line.
So Jackson Zabo leads the Kilbourne offense on the field for the first time in the second half. They scored a touchdown on every offensive drive in the first half. As Zabo's in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops, looks, feels the pressure, rolls to his right, keeps his eyes upfield, takes off and runs, and Zabo picks up 14 yards. And we might get a hit as he kind of gave himself up but went out of bounds and then got bumped. And this potentially could be a late hit, and this might add 15 more on.
No, it was a late hit. He was out of bounds, and he took a shot at him. And once he crosses that line, you got to keep your hands off him. And
So if that is a personal foul, that'll move 15 yards to the end of the play. And in just one play, Kilbourne's got the ball in Watkins territory. Ball's all the way up to the Watkins 40.
But once again, Jackson is an elusive ball carrier. If they flush him out of the pocket, he is double dangerous, and he's going to hurt you.
Kilbourne, Zabo will give it to Gaithers, and good pressure off the left side. A good stop right there by Watkins. That'll back up the Wolves at least 4, if not 5.
Yeah, Jacob Markalonis. Nice play. He's only a sophomore. That's what Coach Waters was looking for, guys that are going to do that right there.
Officially a loss of 5 for Kilbourne. It'll back him up to the Watkins 45, 2nd and 15. Here as we are a couple minutes into the second half, Kilbourne's first possession. Zabo drops, looks to throw, fires over the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Jack Dotson. Decent coverage over the middle from Watkins, and this will set up a 3rd and long. And because we are in a game above 35 points, we have a running clock here in the second half.
Yeah, and that was Ethan Horn, the safety for Watkins, and perfect timing on that play, and he broke it up. Excellent job.
So 3rd and 15 for Kilbourne. Zabo drops to throw over to Grady Warner, and he kind of steps over a man, and he picks up 5, so they get back to the 40. It'll be 4th and 10.
Brought down by number 63,
and
Lewis, and number 0, Patrick Schroyer.
Decision time here for Mike Edwards, as I believe this might be the first 4th down tonight Worthington Kilbourne has seen.
Looks like they're going for it.
They will go for it. As much as Eric Hunter size has been reliable for him, this would be from 57, so no surprise here. They will go for it, and Zabo will drop back, look to throw, fires over the middle, and incomplete. Had a man open. Looked like Grady Warner slipped open, but the throw just slightly behind him, so a turnover on down. So Watkins gets their first stop of the night, and a positive start there for the Watkins defense.
Absolutely. I'm surprised they didn't punt the ball up 42, and but they went for it. Warner was open, but like you said, he threw it behind him. He couldn't make the catch.
So Watkins will take over on their own 40 after they forced the turnover on downs. Really, the only positive game there from Kilbourne was the 14-yard scramble from Zabo, then adding 15 on from the personal foul, and then loss of 5 on a run play, and they never really regained an opportunity to have a manageable 4th down.
And give credit to Watkins' defense. They held him.
Watkins will hand it off to the inside, and a nice run on 1st down.
Number 22, Graham Smith.
By Graham Smith.
Brought down by number 5, Sean Rice.
So in one play, we see Watkins get the ball into Kilbourne territory.
No, nice play. They've been pulling it out from giving it to Smith, and the court Matchek's taking it out. This time he gave it to him, and the line opened up a hole, and he got a nice gain.
So Watkins will have the ball in the Kilbourne 46, 1st and 10. Vander Matchek still in there for Watkins at quarterback, the sophomore making his first start. Graham Smith on his left hip, 3 receivers to the right. And they give it to Smith, bounces it to the right, looking to get some running room, and he picks free, a 1st down and more, and he's pushed out of bounds at the Kilbourne 30, so a 16-yard gain there from Graham Smith.
Yeah, just a little sweep right, and pulled the guards out and led the way, and good blocking up front. Smith's running hard, and I knew Coach Waters had him. He got them fired up at halftime. They're coming out to play. I'm glad to see it.
Scott, do you think this is just a matter of them going in at halftime saying, "Hey, it's 42-0. We're not giving up, but let's do what we do best, and let's give the football to our big man."
That's what you got to do. You got to do what you've been practicing all summer long. You get a chance to do it. They got big guys on the offensive line, and they're executing and getting some positive yardage. And Graham Smith, he was their leading rusher last year, so I think they figured they might as well feed him the ball and see how he does. So far, he's done real good in the second half.
So we got a timeout from Watkins. The play clock was running low, and they did not want to surrender another delay of game penalty. So it's 6:53 in the 3rd quarter. It's the first timeout for Watkins, still 42-0, but Watkins has the ball in the Kilbourne 31.
Your prize.
We talked earlier about head coach Darren Waters in his 6th year at the helm of Watkins Memorial. He spent a couple of years at Otterbein as an outside linebackers coach. But then, previous to that, for 14 years, he won 128 games out of 204. That's his total, 128 wins, including the 28 here. But he won 100 games and lost 49 at Licking Heights. 14 years there. Tremendous coach. He's going to work. He's going to get these guys going.
No, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Hatchak hands it off on the inside. Looks like Smith again. Tripped up, but he falls out of bounds. Another first down for Watkins. So they're starting to have some success in the run game.
Yeah, no, I know Coach Waters from Licking Heights because my son went to Grandview with Kevin's, and we played him every year. And we had some wars. Sometimes we won, sometimes we didn't. But it was always, just great games. And he won a lot of games at Licking Heights.
Ball is spotted at the 20, so Watkins for the first time tonight has gotten themselves into the red zone as they're looking to get themselves on the board. Matchek hands it off again to Smith. And a gain of 5, so another nice game there from Watkins.
Smith with the carry.
Now, give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They're blocking. They're intense. He has just gone through the roof, and they're driving people off the line. So I think maybe Kilbourne came out a little lackadaisical here, and I'm sure Coach Edwards is going to have something to say to them, too, to get them back fired up.
2nd and 5 from the 15. We're just through half of the third quarter, as Watkins has the ball in the red zone after they forced a turnover on downs on Kilbourne's first possession. Matchek drops to throw, looks, dumps it down left, has a man. Kilbourne played that well, though.
Pass is complete.
Maybe a gain of a yard.
Dominic Javarino brought down by number
Dominic
34,
Javarino picked up maybe a yard or so.
3rd down and 6.
Or maybe they backed him up a yard.
And Brendan Rhodes on the tackle. Great open field tackle there. He put him right down.
We are on the far right end of the press box as the action is currently to the far left of us. 3rd down and 6 from the 16 as it's officially a loss of 1 for Watkins. Matchek in the shotgun. Fake to Smith, and he'll fall forward for a couple, and this is going to set up a 4th and short.
Wolves led by number 32, Gavin Centers.
4th and 4 for Watkins Memorial, and to nobody's surprise, they will go for it. Making some substitutions here for this 4th down play call.
I guess they don't have a kicker, maybe. So I think personally, I'd try to put 3 on the board. That's a chip shot, but we'll see what happens.
Watkins is going to go for it here. 4th and 4. Low snap. Matchek hands it off, and I don't think he got there. No. And I think Kilbourne's going to force a turnover on downs.
Met by number 32, Gavin Centers.
So bend, don't break. The 3rd drive or so tonight, Watkins has moved the ball a little bit and began to bend this Kilbourne defense, but they will not break as they force another turnover on downs.
Yeah, that's why personally I would have tried to kick the field goal to, at least get the shutout out of the way and put 3 on the board. But Watkins did a really good job. They came out and pretty much dominated till they got stopped right there.
Scott, Watkins Memorial's kicker is over here, the left side cornerback, the weak side cornerback. That's Ace Weigel, and actually has a pretty good foot.
Yeah, well, they wanted to try to score a touchdown.
Kilbourne took over at the 12, and Wilkinson's going to pick up a nice gain of 7 or so on 1st down.
Brought down by number 0, Patrick.
But you like to give those kickers reps. It's exactly the opposite on the other side of the field. Kilbourne, his leg's probably tired, but it doesn't get tired. He could kick all night. And you never know when you might, just like that battle of hard road. That field goal won the game.
We'll get a Watkins player down, but We see a player assisting, trying to stretch that right leg out.
Nick, you're a graduate of Worthington Kilbourne, so when I contacted you about doing this broadcast, obviously you jumped right on it. You played basketball as well, as did your older brothers. Talk a little bit about what this school means, and ironically, or not ironically, but the interesting fact of the school, it's built over a ravine. There's an actual creek that runs through.
Yeah, there's a little pathway from the front parking lot back here to the stadium. If you look down, there's a ravine below, and apparently, I didn't know this until actually since I've graduated, but there was a snowstorm either 2004, 2005, and they were worried about how much snow was going to maybe damage the structure of the school, but nothing ever came about it. But yeah, this is a special spot for me. I didn't play football, but I had plenty of friends who were on the football team. I came to plenty of games. I was a basketball player here, as well as my older brother, Jake. Played for Coach Souter, who retired after my senior year in 2022. Former Buckeye, Ron Lewis, he was there as the JV coach my last year. He took over in 2022 as the head varsity coach and remains. He'll be entering his 5th year with the Wolves already. It's crazy. I've been out of here for 5 years now. Time's flying. So Zabo fires over the middle, complete. It's a first down. Jack Dotson out of the slot. Nice little RPO there, Scott, for a first down.
Oh, yeah. And, he ran a nice skinny post, and he was wide open. And as Sabo does, he put it right on the money.
So Kilbourne getting to the line relatively quick after that first down conversion. An inside handoff to Wilkinson. Kind of picks his way. And a good first down carry of 7 or 8. Depending on the official spot. But it will be second and short with about 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
They're right up to the line, ready to go.
Kilbourne up tempo. Zabo keeps on his own read. He can run. He's already rushed for a couple touchdowns tonight. Down the sideline. Nice gain inside the Watkins 40.
Number 3, Jackson Zabo with the carry.
Now he has another gear when he gets outside, and then he's got all the moves. He's tough to get your hands on him. He's there, you go, and now all of a sudden he's gone.
Ball spotted the 38-yard line, first down.
2 minutes to go here. Scoreboard shows 42-3, but it still remains actually 42-0 here as the Wolves here in their second possession of the second half. Zabo hands it off to Wilkinson. He gets down, gets through, and a first down. Picks up 13, so a big loss on a run play on the last drive set him back, but a couple of nice runs here from Worthington Kilbourne, and we got another player down.
Scott, this is normal here. Watkins Memorial player down on the numbers on the opposite side. Boy, when you're playing in this kind of heat, no matter how much you hydrate, still going to have those cramps.
No, just you never know. They're in great physical condition. They work really hard, but just sometimes things happen chemically in your body, and boy, when those muscles lock up, it is, and especially the first couple weeks when the heat's out, and we'll be seeing a lot of that in the next few games.
Yes. He'll hop right off the field. That's a good sign. Again, it's probably, when I called games with Eric a few years ago, we've seen some tonight. Really, I'd say at least until week 4, week 5, you're getting temperatures in the 70s, maybe even in the 80s at kickoff, and it's hot. Doesn't matter always what you do. You cramp up, and it is what it is. And
as the weather cools off, the cramps go away a lot. You still get them. Some guys do, but most people don't.
So we'll resume play here. Zabo in the shotgun. Fakes it, kind of rolls out, and looks like Watkins played that well, but Zabo able to still pick up a couple. And
Brought down by number 8, Jacob Black.
Somebody for Kilbourne slow to get up, but he pops up, seems to be okay.
Ball spotted at the 28-yard line.
No,
Second down and
Watkins defended that well. He faked the handoff and took it around the right side, and they were waiting for him.
Dotson will move from right to left. Zabo takes the snap, drops the throw over the middle. Grady Warner open, touchdown Kilbourne. The tight end just slipped right open on a kind of a seam route, and a beautiful throw from Zabo. And Kilbourne scores for the first time in this half.
Yeah, it's actually the same play they ran when they went for the 4th down and didn't get it when he threw it behind him. Same exact play. That time he hit him right on the numbers, touchdown.
So Szabo now I've lost track how many total touchdowns he has tonight. He's thrown at least 4.
The extra point number
I think it's 6. Yeah, 4 passing and 2 rushing. And I would assume his night is probably going to be over here as we're about to approach the 4th quarter, but we shall see with Ericon or Sias in to attempt the extra point. His kick is good.
Mason Lawrence with the extra point. The score is Worthington Kilbourne 49.
So Kilbourne takes a 49-0 lead. Here there'll be a second to go in the 3rd quarter.
As we wait for this kickoff with 1 second to go, which they may have to run a play because Osiris is booting it into the end zone every time. But, Scott, you got to love the tight end action from Grady Warner. Last year, as a freshman, 21 receptions, 325 yards, and 3 touchdowns. They do roll it. Now it goes to the end of the quarter. It'll be 4th quarter action. But head coach Mike Edwards of Kilbourne said about him before the season, a football player, tight end position, blocks, inserts, traps, and ISOs in their offense, as well as runs routes into pass game. We've seen him with a number of catches. Coach Edwards says he was tip of the spear all year, plays at a very high level. And, of course, tight ends are near and dear to your heart out of Dover, over in eastern Ohio.
Tuscarawas County, man.
Tuscarawas County, that's right.
Yeah.
My wife is from Canton, so I'm familiar with that. But then you went on and played at Maryland as a tight end. Talk about the uniqueness in this day and age of having a tight end that actually produces with all the spread offenses.
Well, the tight end now, a lot of guys are more like a hybrid. You know, they might be down on the line or they might be up in a 2-point stance. And they do some, and we saw a couple where they went around the end, got the handoff on an RPO. So many different things. Back in Maryland and Dover, we ran the ball a lot. You know, threw it a little bit to the tight ends, but you were a blocker first and foremost.
The kickoff will come from right to left to start this 4th quarter, and it's 49-0. And talking about Mike Edwards, he's from over in your neck of the woods, from Martins Ferry.
Yeah.
He attended Ohio State, did not play football there. But this is his first head coaching job. And in 8 years, he's led, in 7 years prior to this, led Kilbourne to a 27-48 record. But last year, Nick, 7-4, and 3rd in the OCC Capital at 4-2. 10-year assistant coach at Pickerington North was Mike Edwards. Started as a 7th grade coach. 10 years later, he's hired as a head coach, and he's been good for the program.
That's the way you do it.
Big return there for Kilbourne. That was Kai Ursias, the younger brother of Ericon, getting a chance to do the kickoff. And his older brother, Musab, I was talking with him in the week, kind of just getting an idea about this football team and the kickers. This is his very first game kicking, ever. He didn't play football at the middle school level. The brothers convinced him to come out, and he's kicking for the first time ever this season.
Both of them are soccer guys?
They are both soccer guys. All 3 of them were soccer guys at one point.
Another injury on the field. This appears to be maybe a little bit more. That was the returner for Watkins Memorial.
That's Graham Smith.
Graham Smith. Oh, that's tough. That's going to be tough for them. I got to give some love to the assistant coaches, having spent, like you, Scott, a lot of time as an assistant coach. The offensive coordinator here at Kilbourne is Anthony Davis. The defensive coordinator is Austin Wyatt, and the rest of the staff has J.J. Schmidley, Evan Smith, Michael Cottrell, William Marshall, Dwight Pickens, Gavin Banks, Justin Cunningham, Grayson Timms, my good buddy Judd Van Sickle, who I taught at Columbus State in the sport management program years ago. And Nick, we got to mention Vince Trombetti.
Vince Trombetti, the former legend here. He coached through my freshman year of high school, the 2018 season. Came back right after I graduated, coaching defensive line. And Michael Edwards came into a situation where it was kind of a rebuilding situation. His first season, they went 1-9, but the next season, in the shortened COVID season, they went 4-2 in the regular season with 2 playoff wins. Started to dip down a little bit, but the last few years, they've kind of shot back up to how Kilbourne had been in the past.
Coach Trombetti was here as a head coach for 13 years. He had a 72-66 record, led Kilbourne to 4 playoff appearances. Only 3 head coaches in the history of this school that opened in 1991. Jeff Gafford started the program in 1991. That's a pretty good record, Scott.
And Vince Trombetti, original assistant, he came to Kilbourne right when it opened. I believe from Groveport is what he had told me back in the day.
Impressive.
So he's been here outside of my maybe 3 middle years of high school. He's been at least an assistant coach here.
Number 10, Coach Cottrell.
So
Gain of 3, second down and 7.
gain of 3 there for Watkins here in the fourth quarter. So Xander Matchek is still in the game at quarterback, but Isaiah Ewing has come in for the injured Graham Smith to play running back. He's had a couple nice carries tonight, but now getting kind of the workload here with Smith going out of the game.
Well, he's going to get a lot of experience now. He's going to get the ball.
Matchek's in there, 2nd and 7. Receiver in motion. They fake the jet sweep, and Matchek keeps it. He'll pick up 3 or so, and this will set up about a 3rd and medium here for Watkins.
Yeah, I'd like to see him try to throw the ball downfield a little bit. They're working off the RPOs and everything, but I'd like to see Matchek drop back and get somebody open, get a first down here.
3rd and 5 here as we've got the traditional Kilbourne drum line when they come over and play some songs in front of the student section in the fourth quarter here as they're enjoying this one.
I think it's a Hawaiian shirt night maybe too. I see a lot of Hawaiian shirts and leis by the student body there.
3rd and 4 here. Matchek takes a low snap as he kind of hops his way through for a first down. I do want to give a shout out to defensive coordinator Austin Wyatt, who was a former math teacher of mine, former basketball player at Mount Union. Told me, though, back when I was in school, likes playing basketball more, but likes coaching football more. And I don't know if that's changed since then. It's been, 5 years, but his defense having a big night so far here. No points going into the fourth quarter.
No, he's got a lot of talent. They have a nice team. They're gonna make some noise.
1st and 10 for Watkins on the Worthington Kilbourne 42-yard line. We approach 9 minutes to go. Matchek gonna give it to Guzman, and he'll pick up 4 on first down.
Yeah, a little jet sweep to the left side, and Guzman got some positive yardage, and they're moving the ball again.
So 2nd and 6 here for Watkins as they look to try to put together a scoring drive before this one comes to a close. Had the ball in the red zone earlier, decided to go for it and did not convert. That being their most recent drive towards the end of the third quarter. So 2nd and 6 from the Kilbourne 38. For Xander Matchek. Moves his running back Ewing from his left hip to his right. Receiver in motion. They fake it to him. They give it to Ewing. He picks his way through, and he might just be a half a yard shy. Maybe they give him the first down. We'll see where they officially spot
it. It looks maybe a half yard short.
They will mark it short. It'll be 3rd and about a half a yard or so. Watkins has not changed their pace tonight. Depending on the score, they want to try to put together the best drive here in the fourth quarter for the confidence for their offense moving forward with still 9 games to go after this one.
They want to score some points. That's what they want to do.
So Matchek keeps it on his own read, gets the corner, and converts. He will move the chains. Nice little fake there and a first down.
Well, that's the kind of experience that he's starting to get, Matchek, because he looks like a field general right now. He's moving the team down the field, and they're getting some continuity.
Next week, you mentioned Watkins Memorial. They're going to be on the road, obviously, but they'll be at Sheridan, a team that they defeated last season 42-14. Sheridan, of course, went 7-4 and lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Matchek keeps that one and picks up 4 more. Tend to be using a lot of the zone reads, fake jet sweeps on this drive heavily. Had
No, they're mixing it up really well, and they're moving the ball. The offensive line, give them a lot of credit. They're playing hard, really hard, and they're opening up some holes.
I don't believe there's been a pass attempt on this drive, so very impressive by this offensive line to get some movement up front to be able to move the ball down this field as much as they've had on this drive. Matchek keeps again on his own read. Nice carry again for Matchek. He's going to move the chains again, so Watkins putting a drive together as they're in the red zone for the second time tonight.
Yeah, big offense. Jack Booth, Evan Ryan, Lincoln Raber, they're all opening up some holes. They're playing good.
As we approach the halfway point of this fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go, Watkins has the ball in the 17, 1st and 10. Their second trip to the red zone tonight. Their last drive was a red zone trip, resulted in a turnover on downs. Matchak going to give the jet sweep around. And a nice carry and a first down there for Henry Guzman. We've had a couple of nice carries tonight throughout this game.
No, he's tough to get. He's not very big, Guzman, 5'7", 150. But he is very elusive, and we showed it right there. A couple guys missed him.
They're going to mark him a half a yard short. It'll be 2nd and inches, half a yard, whatever you want to call it, at the 8-yard line. Putting together arguably their best offensive drive tonight. Looking to punch one in and get on the board. So Matchek's in the shotgun. Running back to his right, 2 receivers each way, and hands it off to Ewing, and he is tripped up. It is a first down at the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal for Watkins.
Yeah, Edward Martinez on the tackle. If he doesn't make the tackle, he would have scored.
Play results today, Watkins, 1st down and goal.
So Watkins has the ball on the 5. They put it back to the 6th, rather, but it is 1st and goal for the Warriors. Can't tell. Looks like maybe Graham Smith's back in there. Thought I saw 22. It's a handoff. And a little bit of some traffic between the two teams there after the short gain. It's Crawford, rather, on the carry rather than Smith. And they actually end up losing a yard, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 7. 3:45 to play. Matchek in the shotgun. Drops to throw for the first time on this drive. Fires to the end zone, and looks like maybe a miscommunication between receiver and quarterback, as well as good interior pressure there from the Wolves. And it'll set up a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, it looked like the receiver stopped in the mid-route, but Matchek did the right thing. He threw it where no one could catch it.
So 3rd and goal, you would think if Watkins, being they, went for it on the first 4th down tonight, if there is a 4th down, if they don't convert here, that they would essentially give themselves 2 plays to try to score a touchdown.
Either that or kick the field goal and get the goose egg off the board.
Could do that as well. We'll see what the decision is if they do not convert here. Matchek's going to sweep it around the edge, and it's going to be a Watkins touchdown.
Eli Harris, yeah.
On a little jet sweep, and Watkins is going to get on the board with under 3 minutes to go. So some confidence for the Warrior offense as they're able to go down the field with only 1 pass attempt wasn't completed. They were able to just run the ball right down the field and get on the board.
No, well deserved though. They moved the ball, they controlled the line of scrimmage, and they did what they have to do. And Eli Harris, that's what another was, 6'3", 175 sophomore. And so a lot of young guys getting them some action and showing that they can play.
Watkins to attempt the PAT. And it's good. So with 2:05 to go, Watkins gets on the board, but the Wolves in complete control, 49-7. As Kilbourne's offense will look to probably just milk this one out here.
Well, we're going to see somebody else at quarterback. I would almost bet the ranch on that one.
33, Olentangy, 7.
We'll see who the Wolves elect to put in at quarterback. Kilbourne only had 2 offensive possessions this half due to the running clock rule. When a team goes up by 35 or more, for the most part, during any type of action, that clock's going to roll. So a much shorter second half than you would typically get.
Well, that's the rule, and I understand it, because if you don't, it could be 75-7 or something. You know, when there's a big discrepancy in teams, that just it gets the game over, and that's the best way. And then tomorrow, you know, the JV guys will be playing and getting better, you know, on Saturday mornings or Monday if they play, or and get ready for week 2.
So Watkins will kick off for just the second time tonight. They kicked off to begin the second half.
Number 85, Jackson Day, kicking off. Back for Kilbourne, number 25, Jaden Davis.
Jaden Davis, one of the returners for Kilbourne. Maybe Jack Ritchie, the other one. Watkins will send this one away, and this will hook toward the corner and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Touchback.
So I was wrong, Nick, on the kicker. It is not Ace Weigel. It has been Landon Bailey, the sophomore. He kicked that PAT and kicked that into the end zone on a nice touchback. So pretty good weapon, as there's another player down for Watkins on the far sideline.
Yeah, and he's a sophomore too. So, you know, Watkins has a lot of young guys getting a lot of experience and playing time, and that's how you get better. So by the time they're seniors, they'll be tough.
If I have the number correct here, see number 4 in the huddle. That might be the freshman Holden Parsons coming in at quarterback, but we'll see who trots out there. It also could be number 10, Doak Cottrell. Those are the 2 backups for the Wolves. So we have an injury down, so we don't know who's coming into the game quite yet.
Jackson Sabo has been fantastic, everything that he was advertised to be. And, of course, next week he'll take on one of 2 rivals for Worthington Kilbourne. Thomas Worthington, last year Thomas 1-9, coming off a playoff appearance several years ago. That game will be here at 7 o'clock for Kilbourne, and then they'll take on Canal Winchester, and then they'll get into the league. Kilbourne will, the OCC capital, with a game at Westland, home games with Dublin Scioto and Hayes, and of course Dublin Scioto, Nick, is their big rival.
I think Thomas is the biggest one.
Do you think it's bigger
conference-wise now, and obviously just 4 miles down the road, it's Scioto for conference play. So if that is number 4, it is the freshman Holden Parsons, and I'm supposed to give him a shout-out by his brother. Now, his brother Aiden was my high school point guard here at Worthington Kilbourne, and he demanded that if I'm on the air calling the game, if his brother gets in the ball game, I got to give him a shout-out. Holden also a basketball and played lacrosse last year. I don't know if he's going to continue that at Kilbourne, but he's going to remain football, basketball. Aiden's now the freshman coach here at Worthington Kilbourne for the basketball program. But Holden Parsons is a freshman getting an opportunity to get in the varsity game here. Another handoff here for Kilbourne. This will be 3rd down.
Number 48, Darius Harris with the carry. Brought down by number 29, Williams.
So Harris on the carry there. This will set up a 3rd and medium here with a minute to go.
Well, that's impressive. If a freshman makes the field in a varsity game, that means he's got some talent. He's doing something right, and he's worked really hard this summer to be able to get in like that.
Parsons, the projected JV starter, so he'll get an opportunity to start tomorrow in the JV game, but gets opportunity here in the varsity game under the lights as he hands it off again to the inside. Kilbourne's going to pick up a 1st down, and they shouldn't have to snap the football again. That should do it. And maybe they are going to run one more play just to allow maybe some of the JV guys in the game to get an opportunity. Parsons takes the snap, and he will hand it off one more time. Short gain there for Kilbourne, and that's going to do it.
And the final
Worthington Kilbourne with a dominant showing in week 1, 49-7. Couldn't have asked for a better start on both sides of the ball in the first half, and then they just kind of controlled the second half to walk out of here with the 49-7 win. Scott, just a dominant performance overall.
Yeah, no, they were projected to be a really good team, and it looks like they are. They have a lot of talent, top to bottom, and they're going to give a lot of teams trouble. You know, I want to give a little credit to Watkins Memorial. They didn't give up. They came out and played hard the second half. And, you know, they're going to win some games this year, too. And they got a lot of young talent that played pretty well tonight.
Wolves are going to get their rivals here next week in Thomas Worthington, a game they dominated the last couple of seasons. Jackson-Szabo, 2 big games in that, as Watkins will head on the road again, and they will take on Sheridan. I'm going to swing it over to my other broadcast partner, Eric Welch, and he's going to take over.
Great job, man. A very quick post-game show here. 49-7 the final score, as Kilbourne scored every time they had the football. 4 touchdowns out of the hands and legs of junior quarterback Jackson-Szabo. A couple of touchdown throws to Alex Meek. A touchdown pass to Sean Rice.
Yep.
Sean Rice, and a touchdown pass to Warner. First name Grady Warner. And then, of course, the interception returned by Montel Rice for the touchdown for Kilbourne. Szabo also had a 46-yard touchdown run and a 3-yard touchdown run. And Eli Harris with a 7-yard touchdown run with 2:53 to go was Watkins Memorial's last only score. But a good drive to end this game for them. We'll be on the air at 6:45 next week from Hilliard Bradley, as we'll have one of the Hilliard matchups, one of the Hilliard battles. It will be Hilliard Derby at Hilliard Bradley. We'll go on the air, as I mentioned, at 6:45 here on our YouTube page on cbussports.com. And as soon as we're off the air, I invite you to go over to the cbussports.com webpage. Look for the Scoreboard Show and tune in and listen to owner Kevin Rao, as he'll be having scores until he gets them all done, probably about 10 o'clock or so tonight. I'd like to thank the athletic directors of each school. Athletic Director Jeff Todd here at Worthington Kilbourne. Athletic Director Jacob Perkins at Watkins Memorial. Unsung heroes, we mentioned the coaches. They do a tremendous job. But the athletic secretaries, the athletic secretary for Worthington Kilbourne, Amy Nash Moneypenny, and for Watkins Memorial, Jill Fuss, as they provided rosters and other information as well. Thank you to each of the coaches, Darren Waters at Watkins and Mike Edwards at Worthington Kilbourne. That's going to do it here from Worthington Kilbourne. One final time, the score 49-7, Kilbourne over Watkins Memorial. That completes our week 1 broadcast. Sorry for the technical trouble, but we finally got on the air in the second quarter. Fine job by our young play-by-play man, Kilbourne grad Nick Hirschy, and Scott Murphy. Heck of a job. Glad he was able to help out. We'll see you from Hilliard Bradley next week. For the broadcast team, this is Eric Welch saying good night, everyone.